you're going to want to listen to this one. This is serious shit right here. Okay. We've got a lot to talk about. An insane amount to talk about. And, welcome to the HOT PASS Podcast. If it's your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. Okay. We've got plenty of things to talk about. It's a Friday morning betting show. Recording this Thursday afternoon like we always do. Okay. And, let's get into it. Like, rate, share the podcast. It really helps out for, getting more audience. Whether you're on YouTube, subscribe. Please like and share it with your friends. Cashed a bag last weekend. We're going into Bristol. We're going to the Coliseum. And I'm really excited to hopefully go to the legendary Coliseum and cash a fucking huge bag. All right. We've got trucks Saturday night, 8 p.m. We do not have any Xfinity Series. They're going to be back at COTA next weekend. And then we've got Cup Sunday. Let me see if I can find the laps. The laps for trucks. We're going to start off with trucks. Is 65. The stage is 65, 65, and 120. And then Cup 125, 125, and 250, which is 500 laps. Okay. Before I get into that, I've got some things to dive into. If you don't follow me on my social media at @FurlongEric_, we had a bit of a Thursday morning kerfuffle last night, Wednesday. The Cup Series bets. I was trying to figure out what I'm going to bet on early to give you guys for the Friday morning betting show. And there was some bullshit. Okay. So Betway Canada. Betway in America is different lines than Betway Canada, which I've come to find out over the last year. But Betway Canada can go fuck itself. And we're going to start off with this, with some heated arguments between me and Betway Canada. So last night, Betway also in Canada has a history of fucking up their lines. Okay. Just immediately fucking up their lines and going back after giving you your money back and then adjusting the lines and then basically saying, fuck you. Okay. At least they give you your money back. But I've had my brother have issues getting his money back, cashing out. They stole $75 from him when he used to bet over a year ago. They've also just limited people on the amount they can bet because their lines they put up a wrong line and people want to bet the shit out of it. And then they just decide to, say, no, you can only put $12 or $50 or whatever, instead of like, I got friends that'll put $500 on it. Right. And they're just like, well, wait a minute, we just need to see this. And then they'll just adjust the lines. They'll let you put $50 instead of $500 and then adjust the lines after. Because whatever. Anyways, get into my situation. So last night, I'm going to put up a photo I had it on my social media, but I put it up in the YouTube. And the astronomical stupid lines that they had for top 10s. Let's see if I can pull it up here for me so I can read them off to you guys. Okay. So the top 10 lines they had come up last night. Now, on average, you're going to have probably half the field is going to be minus odds for your new bettors, and then the other half are going to be plus odds, right? So for example, plus 100, you put $100, you win $100, right? You plus 200, you put $100, you win $200. Just for the minds that don't, bet very often. You're just listening to this, okay? Now, for example, Ty Gibbs should not be a plus 187. This is what they have, okay? The only guys that were minus odds were Kyle Larson at minus 360, Christopher Bell minus 225, and Denny Hamlin at minus 188 for a top 10. The rest of the fucking field, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, and Ty Gibbs were all plus 187. Insane. Hammered them all. Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, all plus 225. Chase Elliott plus 300. Hammered that. Joey Logano, Truex, both plus 350. And then this is when it drops off, and I hammered a lot of bets on this. And you put out the lines. I should be able to bet on it, and you should have to honor those bets because you fucked up and didn't do your due diligence. So I'll read off these lines for the audio people, right? Plus 800 for Alex Bowman, plus 800 for Bubba Wallace, and as well for Eric Jones. Chase Briscoe, who's good on short tracks. I hammered this, put $100 on it. Chase Briscoe, Michael McDowell, both plus 1,000. Other books, just to put it in perspective, are plus 100. Or Michael McDowell's like plus 140 or plus 170. Plus 1,000. So I see this, and I bet him. All the other odds, if you watch the YouTube or follow me on my social media, you can see I'm not going to go into the deep dive. But I hammered those. I deposited $500 into my Betway account immediately and hammered these, right? And I knew that they were going to do what they always do. Fucking Betway. They are going to give you your money. They're going to take down the lines, which they did within less than an hour. I called my brother, told him like this is good. They're going to do it again because in the summertime they did the same thing, and then they ended up taking down the lines. So they've done this all the time. They took down the lines, and then within 15 minutes they gave me my $500 back, and then put up the lines again later as the proper lines. Now, if you're fucking up this bad, now I'm yelling, but if you're fucking up this bad, where it's supposed to be plus 100 for Chase Briscoe top 10, and you're putting in plus 1,000, you should have to honor that and can the motherfucker that did that, dude. I don't know if it's distorting the audio because I'm yelling so much. I apologize, but I'm trying to stay away from the microphone when I'm yelling. But dude, what are you doing? What are we doing? You're ridiculous. So I post the odds after I bet them and said I'll give you guys an update on my Instagram at @furlongeric_, as well as on X. I posted them. And give you an update later on. I post a video. If you follow me, you saw it. I went Betway, decided to do the same thing once again and take down the lines, give me my fucking money back. And readjust the lines. So I went, all I said was, fuck you, Betway. That's like, you can't be doing that, man. You guys need to be like the other books and honor those lines and then adjust them after. Do not stop doing that. You're running some bullshit. So I tagged them in it, right? I tag them in it. And for example, or just to put it in perspective, I've used them for over a year and a half. I've never had any issues, okay? Other than that one time in the summertime. But anytime I've complained about them, I've never tagged them. But the first time I tag them, was like 10 or 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night. I wake up Thursday morning, 7:03 a.m. I get an email. And if I can remember, I'm going to put it up in the YouTube so you guys can read it. This email states, I'm going to, I wonder if I have it here. Oh, no, I don't. Let me try and pull it up in my email quick. I just want to be able to pull it up for you guys so I can read it. And then you guys get the 1,000% just, and you guys make your decision on whether or not I'm in the wrong or I'm in the right. And you guys let me. Oh my God, it's taken a bit to sign in here. Just give me a minute. I haven't signed into my Gmail on my laptop ever, so passkey created. Okay, cool. Let me in to my fucking Gmail. So I get this email at 7:03 a.m. Don't switch. Let me enlarge this. So I get this important information. This is after I've tagged them, and I've had I've never had these issues before. Hi, Eric. Quote, hi, Eric. We recently reviewed your Betway account and have made the decision that you will no longer be eligible for any sports promotions. Listen word for word here, people. Quote, this means that you will no longer be eligible for bet tokens, bonuses, or the Betway prize wheel. You can continue. Listen to this. Quote, you can continue to bet with us as usual, and any promotions you've already placed qualifying bets on or bet tokens recently used will not be affected. Our decisions is final and will not be overturned. If you have any questions about any offers you have qualified for, then please contact our support team, the Betway team. End quote. How about this? So, I start coming after them. Why? Because I go, let me test if I can still bet, because I still have the $500 in that account. I'm going to call them on their bullshit, because it says, quote, you can continue to bet with us as usual, end quote. So I put $100 plus 100 Chase Elliott for a top 10 at Bristol is a great bet, and we're going to get into that. But I decide to put $100 on there. Well, it doesn't go through. It says that I've exceeded my limits. And I went, well, that's bullshit. And so I tried to put 50, same thing. 20, same thing. And then I go all the way down to $1. It's the same thing. And I go, you've stopped me and you've bullshitted me in this email. You bullshitted me to the point that you lied. And you said that I could still bet. I can't bet. You just decided to restrict me. Go fuck yourself is basically what you said. So I start posting about it. And then I get DMs. Let me go to my Instagram, because I tag them in it. I start going, you're lying. You fucking lied in your email. So I started tagging them in my post. So they send me. So I said, you're a I commented, I DM'd them after posting a bunch of stuff on my social media. If you don't follow me, you missed a lot of it. But I was basically saying that fuck you guys. You're a trash company. You lied in your emails. You're full of shit. So I said, I DM'd them, you're a trash company. And then they sent a bunch of stuff. And then the main one, I said, you banned my account because I call your company out for messing your lines up. LOL. If you mess up, you should honor those lines. You guys continue to do that, and someone should call you out. Hilarious. That's something I say on my social media. This is the one you want to listen to. Hilarious. That's something I say on my social media. Can get someone banned on a different platform. You are a joke. So I continue to post 3 more stories and tag them. And I said, better accept my withdrawal and let me leave your app. Now, at this point, they've looked at all my stories and they DM me back. Quote, we can assure you that your Betway account is never affected by anything you say or post on your own social media platforms. However, you should you continue to use foul language towards a Betway employee, it can lead to the suspension of supporting channels in the foreseeable future. Should you wish for us to assist you on here? It's like, I'm going to say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And then they're like, let me just kill you with kindness at the end. Quote, should you wish for us to assist you on here, kindly refer to our previous message and confirm the details requested. End quote. Bullshit. Everything they said when you said, quote, we can assure you that your Betway account is never affected by anything you say or post on your social media platforms, end quote, is bullshit. I have never tagged you guys in anything. I've bet the same way when you guys mess up lines. And until I said, fuck you. Wow, 2 words. Fuck and you in a sentence. They decided, fuck this guy. We're going to restrict his account and basically ban him. You sensitive ass pussies. Now, I don't care about future promotions or sponsors. If they hear this and go, we don't want to deal with this guy because if we fuck him, he's going to get mad and trash our company. Well, honor your lines. If I've never had an issue with FanDuel. I love FanDuel, BetMGM, DraftKings, Caesar Sportsbook by far, and so on and so forth. And they've always honored their lines and had great customer service. Anytime I've ever had issues, great customer service. Betway has been shady for lots of people I know on social media, whether they're in the States, Canada, or Europe. I've seen it all the time. And they personally stole $75 from my brother. So for them to say, out of all this and the gist of this, that me saying what on my social media, anything on my social media had nothing to do with that, what are the odds, dude? What are the fucking odds? I told you, fuck you, and the first time I say fuck you and tag you guys in it, less than 6 hours later or 8 hours later from that post, my account's just restricted. What are the odds? Are the odds plus 100 or plus 1,000? Are the odds plus 100 or plus 1,000? Because I don't know. I will take the plus 1,000 odds and I'll win it every time. I'm gonna cash. I'll cash. Betway, in the gist of this, do not use Betway because they're just gonna fuck you, dude. They are going to fuck you so hard. If you call them out on their bullshit, like even in this instance, I'm going to get to the betting in a second, but I just wanted to go on my rant. I love ranting. But they're trying to say that however, should you continue to use foul language towards a Betway employee, it can lead to the suspension, end quote. When did I do that? I read you guys everything. When did I use foul language? You know, I read everything. I'm reading everything again. I said, you're a trash company. Is that foul language? Is trash the word trash? Trash can? Trash? Is that foul language? Did I say fuck you to Betway? That's to the company. That's not directed to any employee. I've never contacted any of their customer service reps. If you're the person that DM me and you open it up, well, yeah, I guess you're reading it. You're reading the post, but that's not directed at you. I don't know your name. It's not like I've ever contacted a customer service rep and went, hey, Karen, fuck you, you fucking bitch. Never did that. Never did that. I have all the proof. I've never contacted you. I have all the proof. So basically the gist of this is fuck you, Betway. And now I have Bet365. They have better lines, better customer service already. And within less than 5 minutes, I had my account verified with my driver's license in my face. And we're getting better lines on trucks anyways. I've already bet it, and we're going to go into that in a second. Also, rant over. But also, I'm not wearing like the most beautiful Falcons sweater, but it is a cancer one, and my grandpa currently has cancer. But Falcons, Kirk Cousins, welcome to the team, baby. We're going to the Super Bowl. You guys all can remember this when we end up getting fist fucked and by the Carolina Panthers again. So, anyways, let's dive into it. Maybe take a future on Falcons to win the NFC South. That would be fantastic. I'm going to hammer that. And then when we get let down, I'll cry and you guys will hear about it. But let's get to what you guys were all here for. I hope you guys enjoyed the rant. So we cashed big last week. We're in Bristol. The truck series also has, let me just bring this up real quick. We have some cup drivers in the field and a young man named William Sawala. So we've got 36 trucks have entered. Everybody will be able to qualify and get in. As far as I know, there's 36 spots. Yep. William Sawala will be driving. Why is it when I do the podcast? See, I get so excited. And I've got hiccups again, and I get all crazy. But William Sawala, young man, is going to be driving the one truck now. I keep an eye out for him. Kyle Busch is back again. Now, hasn't driven at Bristol in 7 or 8 years, 7 years, 6 years, whatever it is, since 2017 in the trucks, but we'll see what happens. And then Zane Smith in the 91. Yeah, let's dive right into the bets. So I've listened to some betting podcasts talk about trucks already, and I have to disagree on a couple of them. And but we'll find out on Saturday either way. All right. I want to start off with head-to-heads. Then we'll go to the prop market of top fives. I hate taking top threes, and then we'll drive on over to the outright. How about that? Not even a pun meant to be intended there. How about that? So, let me just add one here real quick before I forget. There's a guy that I like, and I missed him on 14-1, and I'm gonna have to just take him at 12-1. But we'll talk about that later. Okay. So some of these guys here, we're gonna start off with Taylor Gray over Nick Sanchez, minus 115 over at DraftKings. Taylor Gray seems to have a lot of speed. He had good showings out at Daytona and Atlanta. Las Vegas, very fast truck. And he's mainly a short track guy. Now, do I have all of the racing reference stuff pulled up right now? I should probably do that. Has he won yet? No. Do I think he's going to win at some point? I think if anything, he'll probably pull it off on like maybe a short track, but the number 17 truck has a lot of speed, and I think it could end up winning at 1.5 miles if he plays his cards right. But there's a lot of and I'm tired of the Cup guys coming down. Let me pull it up. All of his stats here. See if we can get it up. Taylor Gray really shows up at short tracks, and he showed a lot of speed in short tracks. Nick Sanchez, yeah, he won at Daytona, but really hasn't showed us much since. I mean, Vegas didn't do very well. I mean, he's going to start out front and drive around, but he always shoots himself in the foot, okay? I think he's got a lot of shit to work out. I understand Spires won the first 3 truck races. But Taylor Gray. I mean, I want the Gray brothers to do well on a weekly basis. And the Dead On, I think his brother's in the Dead On Tools truck in the 15. Looks fucking sick. Taylor Gray's got the JBL sponsorship. I think his truck always looks sick with the orange on there. Maybe I feel like I'm like a girl when what's my favorite team? Oh, what's their jerseys look like? And then I just choose like the jerseys. Maybe I'm doing that with his truck. But Taylor Gray at short tracks has performed way better than Nick Sanchez for the most part. Like at Bristol. Now, he's earlier on, I think he started like 3 years ago, driving the trucks, but he started, I'm not going to use the other 2 races in 2022 and 2021. It's not going to help my case here. But last year, you get more experience and time in the truck, and get a better feel for the truck and how it moves, and you can work the air. You're just going to, oh no, he has the Dead On Tools truck. Never mind, not his brother Tanner. It's Taylor. Keep messing it up. Anyways, that's why we like him. See, I just talked myself into it. No matter what, he had the Dead On Tools truck. Fucking sick as hell. I got to get that truck. Anyways, Taylor Gray last year at Bristol qualified 8th and finished 5th. Cashed whoever bet on him for a top 5. Unbelievable. Nick Sanchez, on the other hand, I'm not even going to go into the stats. He's just not very good at short tracks. And I think, Taylor Gray. Even at IRP, I think Taylor Gray did a really good job as well. Never mind. No, he didn't. I'm really shooting myself in the foot on giving you the stats, but I just think Taylor Gray is going to have a better weekend than Nick Sanchez. I think Nick Sanchez, when he's at super speedways, 1.5 miles, and road courses, bet him, but just not short tracks. I just don't. Some guys are good. If you're new to this in NASCAR, some guys are good at short tracks. Some guys are good at 1.5 miles, super speedways, so on and so forth. And Taylor Gray is one of those guys that are good at short tracks. I'm going to take the guy that has got just better history and where he came from. Okay. We're going to move to Grant Enfinger, the man, the myth, the legend that should have cashed us a bag at Phoenix for the championship race, but then there was a bunch of bullshit going on in the back for a championship ticket, and it didn't hit. Oh, okay. What are we doing? No. Oh my God. I'm trying to pull up stats here and it keeps fucking me up, dude. You just hit enter and it keeps putting in bullshit. So you're going to want to hear these stats on Grant Enfinger, but he should have cashed us a bag at the championship race, and we're going back to the well with him at Bristol. Okay. Tyler Ankrum. I'm going to start out with Tyler Ankrum. He's never showed up at short tracks very well. Definitely at Bristol. He's been outside of the top 10, I think, every time. I'm not even going to bother looking at his stats because these are the stats that you want to hear. Okay. Grant Enfinger at Bristol it just feels like a lot. He's going to be inside the top 10. Yeah, he's got a new team in the 9, but Grant Enfinger has got the knowledge at Bristol to be able to bring a good truck and finish inside the top 5, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But over Tyler Ankrum, minus 110 on Caesars is feels like almost a lock, right? Grant Enfinger, where he's finished since 2017 to last fall. 4th, 10th, 5th, 6th, 2nd, 4th, 3rd. Need I say more? I'm going to bring up Tyler Ankrum's stats anyways, so you guys can hear the comparison, because you're going to go, oh my God, that feels beautiful. Now, on DraftKings, on Caesars, Tyler Ankrum's a favorite, minus 120. That's recency bias? Recency bias? Stupid. Because he was very fast at Vegas 2 weeks ago, they are really liking Tyler Ankrum. And he's been good at Daytona, good at Atlanta. But I can tell you right now, I would not recommend taking that. So in his Tyler Ankram's 5 starts, he's finished 20th, 7th, not bad, 32nd, 11th, and 23rd. Now, should I go back and look at Grant Enfinger's? Should I tell you? Should I tell you again? Let's go back. Grant Enfinger's numbers. Finished 4th, 10th, 5th, 6th, 2nd, 4th, and 3rd. You're taking that all day. If Tyler Ankrum beats me, he's the real deal. But Grant Enfinger's still not dead to us. But if Tyler Ankrum beats us, holy fucking shit, he's the real deal. But Tyler Ankrum hasn't showed us shit on short tracks to be able to bet against Grant Enfinger. So Grant Enfinger minus 110 on on Caesar Sportsbook. Beautiful line. Ty Majeski over Zane Smith minus 120 on DraftKings. Now I've heard on podcasts, it's a fade. It's a fade. Fade. If you don't know where the word fade means, don't take any of those bets. He's doing bad. Don't even acknowledge he's there, because he's going to be irrelevant, which is fucking insane. It actually made my blood boil just a wee bit. They're saying fade Ty Majeski. Since he was caught bleeding tires, which is where he got caught leaking air out of a valve stem or whatever at IRP, and he ended up getting penalized, he's done nothing. Okay, tell me he did nothing 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas. Tell me at Daytona he didn't have the best truck. Okay? I can't remember exactly what happened in Atlanta because that race was so boring, and Kyle Busch ended up winning the race. You can't tell me he doesn't have a fast truck. You can't tell me that he's not going to show up and run inside the top 10 for sure. So Ty Majeski, we're just going to type in Ty. No, not Tyler. Who asked for Tyler? Ty. Let's go to Ty Majeski's numbers here. God, I should have had this pulled up sooner. And let's go to Racing Reference here, and let's pull up Zane Smith's. Because Zane Smith has more track record here and other short tracks, but still continuously does not perform at Bristol. And he's up in the cup position now at Spire. And I still think he's going to come down, and everybody's like, oh, the Cup guys are going to scare you. They're scaring me. I ain't scared of shit. We go head on with these motherfuckers, and we bet against the Cup boys, okay? Now, I'm going to go into Zane Smith stuff, because it's Majeski over Zane. Minus 110, DraftKings Sportsbook. In the 4 starts that Zane Smith has, in quality trucks, he's finished 16th, 8th, 2nd. Did lead a lot of laps. And 24th. Now, Ty Majeski came up from driving and racing at short tracks. He was 3rd or 4th in the fall race at Bristol this past year. Driving up in the top 5 all fucking day. Didn't fall out of it, and then gets into Corey Heim, blows a fucking tire in the 3rd stage. Or the end of the 2nd stage, whatever it was. And people are like, oh, he has bad luck now. We got to stay away from him. Well, 2 weeks ago when I was in Las Vegas, he won stage 1 and stage 2. And then ended up having a speeding penalty on the long green flag run and came down to pit road and got the penalty. You can't tell me that this man is not fast. You can't fade the guy when he literally won stage 1 and stage 2 at Vegas at the first actual track where you got to show speed. Because Atlanta, you have the draft, and Daytona, you have the draft. And speed, if you're even a bad truck, that's why we bet on Brett Holmes. That's why we bet on like the long shots right there, because everybody's equal. Equal playing field at drafting tracks such as Talladega, Atlanta, and Daytona. And the first time we come out, Ty Majeski was leading fucking laps. He was the fastest one out there. I understand Bristol's a short track, but I'm taking the momentum the guy has. Are you crazy? Listen to these stats for a second, okay? Okay. For his first ever race at Bristol in the trucks, he started 6th, finished 1st, won the race in the 66 truck. Then goes over to the 98. Now I said he ended up blowing a tire. He ended up finishing 19th, but he was started 4th and was in the top 5 all day. And that's just going to help us with our bets that were taken in a second. So what else do I have to say? I understand he finished 19th, but he's bouncing back and he won stage 1 and stage 2 and finished 10th in Las Vegas. And people are taking Christian Eckes over Ty Majeski. I went, that's fucking crazy. I understand, Christian Eckes is very good at short tracks, very good here at Bristol as well. But that's crazy talk. I wouldn't even touch that matchup first off because they're going to be in the top 5. That's a crazy matchup. Zane Smith could be in the top 5, but I think Ty Majeski being there full time, always working in the trucks, and Zane coming down, his mind is somewhere else. And he doesn't even have a historically good track record anyways. And it's not like he's came out and dominated in the 2 races or 3 races, whatever he's raced in the trucks since coming down from Cup this year. It's not like Zane's even been like leading laps. So I think Ty Majeski's going to be top 5 all day, and minus 120 over Zane Smith is a beautiful line. And if it hits, we're going to have a good time and say fuck you to everybody that doubted the boy. Ty Majeski, he's a cheater, and I'm not saying that I'm a fan of cheaters or anything, but I'm going with the facts and the stats. Okay. He's going to be fast, and these lines are going to be available after that, or they're going to be super juiced to the moon, and you're going to have to pay a bunch to win a unit. So let's go into the top 5 markets now. Okay. And we're going to start off with our longer shot. There's a couple other guys that I'm thinking about taking, but I've just bet so heavy on 2 other guys in the top 5 market. And Kyle Busch is in the race, and he could very well go win. I'm not trying to spread a lot of dough across a lot of top 5s. It's probably where you should probably spend your money rather than the outright market. But these are the guys I like. Matt Crafton at plus 800 on the brand new Bet365 that we just downloaded today. Okay, let me go and look at his. He's raced 21 times at Bristol, 14 top 10s and 5 top 5s. That's insane. Okay. His average finish is 10.3. So he's going to be driving around inside the top 10 most likely throughout the day. And plus 800 for a top 5. I know he hasn't performed very well, but he shows up at these short tracks, man. He finished 7th at Vegas. I understand a lot of guys had to get penalties for him to finish inside the top 10, and we had him top 5 there, and he was very close, and he made it through all the way to the end. That's what you're looking for, is guys that can make it to the end, and then there are longer shots that could hit if something happens. And Bristol brings the fucking calamity. So, oh my God, we are 34 minutes already in. We're going to fucking speed through this, all right? So Matt Crafton, he's finished 6th since he's been driving in the truck series for a long time. So since 2003 all the way to last year, he's 6th, 3rd, 12th, 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 21st, 2nd, 10th, 21st, 9th, 10th, 4th, 7th, 32nd. But then since 2017, He's finished 2nd, 8th, 7th, 10th, 7th, 5th, and 16th. He's there. He's there. Okay, he's finishing the races. It's all in the same truck in the 88. He's there and making it to the end. And that's what you're looking for. And if somebody slips up and he gets a good drive off pit road, he can finish 5th. He did it in 2022. He finished 5th. And plus 800 is insane. So half a unit, Matt Crafton, top 5, plus 800 on Bet365 is the best line you can get. If you don't have Bet365, he's available at, I'm pretty sure, plus 700 on, I think maybe on DraftKings. I think he's lower at like plus 550 or something crazy, just rude. Still on Caesars, if you don't have those lines, I would still take plus 550. But plus 800 on Bet365. Thank you. An honorable mention before we get into the other two big ones is a Stuart Friesen. I think Stuart Friesen shows up on short tracks, and I'm just not on him right now. He's a Canadian boy, I get it, but he just doesn't have the momentum. And Matt Crafton finished in 7th last week. It's got a little momentum, a little kick in the butt. He's gonna be there, I think. Let's go back to the well of Grant Enfinger. I got 2 units on it at plus 200. Go to Bet365 and download that. As I said, not a sponsor, but it literally took 5 minutes for me to download the app, upload, make an account, and then put my driver's license and take a selfie, and then they verified my stuff. Plus 200, I think other books have them at plus 150. DraftKings, I think, has them about plus 150 for a top 5. Fuck that. I probably wouldn't take it. And then plus 175 on Caesars. So plus 200 on Bet365. I put 2 units on that bad boy. I gave you the stats. I'm not saying anymore. He's so fucking good at Bristol. I feel like that's his track. 2 units, unbelievable. Bet365. I don't have to say anymore. Ty Majeski, we're high on Ty Majeski. 3 fucking units on the baby at plus 100. If I took this before I had Bet365, currently, as I'm recording the podcast on Bet365, he's plus 130 for a top 5. Go smash that. I've got 3 units at plus 100. God, I wish I took it at plus 130 because Caesars doesn't give you the option to cash out. But Ty Majeski, top 5. He's a short track guy. The only way this is going to happen, that it doesn't hit, in my personal opinion, is once just like last year, a lot of guys had him top 5 and he blew the tire. So either blowing a tire or he has a bad pit and gets caught up in the shit out back, and all of a sudden a big crash happens when you're racing with the guys that, they're there for the one race, or, they're just more immature driving the back of the field. I think he's going to be in the top 5 all day. And those guys up front know how to battle with each other. So I think he's going to be very good. He's got a good pit crew. 3 units, plus 100, but plus 130 on Bet365. I would go take that for sure. I feel like that's beautiful. Also, Corey Heim, probably going to be in the top 5. He's also plus 100 on a lot of books as well, which is crazy. But I'm just looking for the more value. And that plus 130 on Bet365 is mind-blowing. Now let's go to the outrights, and then we're going to jump over to Cup. Sorry for the longer podcast, but we had rants to talk about. Matt Crafton, I said it. He's never won at Bristol, but I know he's a bit of a douche canoe. But Matt Crafton, I would love to see him win. At one point, he was 70-1, plus 7,000 if you don't know. Plus 7,000 on DraftKings, and he got bet down. He's plus 6,600. I'm just going to use 66-1. 66-1 on Bet Rivers. I took it, put 0.2 of a unit. Just a little fun, little sprinkle on it because, if stuff happens, there's just so many good trucks like Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, Kyle Busch, and Ty Majeski that are going to be there. I don't think he can battle with it, but if something crazy happens out front and, a late caution, and he's on fresher tires, there is a possibility that he's out front and can get it done. And I would just like to see that for the man that's been driving there since 2003. Taylor Gray, I gave you the info on him over Nick Sanchez. He got the top 5 last year. He's good at short tracks. He showed us a lot of speed at Las Vegas as well. He showed a lot of maturity at the super speedways. I know that doesn't play into the fact that we're at a short track like Bristol, which is a lot of chaos, But as I said, if there's a lot of chaos and he's got a fast truck, I think he can be there. I hope he's driving that Dead on Tools truck. That would look so sick in Victory Lane, man. I'm going to buy that this weekend, I think. But I think he can get it done. Plus 2,800. The majority of the books have him at 25-1. I've got him 28-1 at 0.35 units. Just a little fun sprinkle because I think that there's other guys that are going to be way faster than him. But you never know. That's why we play a little bit of longer shots. Grant and Finger, I said it again. Now, if these guys have a bad day, we're going to be having a bad day. Okay? We're going to have a bad day. Grant and Finger was at plus 1,400. He was 14-1. And I waited too long. Now he's 12-1, but I'm still taking it. 14-1 was insane. Hopefully, I don't think we're going to get that again. Definitely after qualifying, he historically qualifies here very, very well. I don't think we're going to get 14-1. I know if Kyle Busch goes out, lays a crazy lap, he's probably going to start out front. Heim, Majeski, Eckes, but Grant Enfinger's going to be starting inside the top 10. If we get if you're listening to this later on and you see a 14-1, a 13-1, or even longer, take that, dude. It's just worth it. I'm taking him 12-1. I feel good about it. I'm a little sad that I didn't get the 14, but 12-1 for Grant Enfinger. I gave you the stats. He's going to be up front. If he's in the top 5, I think he can pull off a win. He's led laps here. Grant Enfinger, 12-1. Majeski, we're on him all the way. And Taylor Gray was 28-1 on DraftKings, and Grant Enfinger was 12-1 on a bunch of books, but mainly I saw him on Bet Rivers and Bet 365. And then Ty Majeski on Caesars. Was that Caesars that I took him at? Might have been Caesars, but I know on Bet Rivers. No, it was definitely Bet Rivers. And on Bet Rivers, he's plus 850. On Caesars and DraftKings, he's mainly like 7-1, 7.5-1. I've got him 8.5-1. Somebody said 10-1 somewhere on like Bet 365 at one point. Holy shit, that would have been insane. But 8.5-1, I'll still take it. He's a little longer. I think Heim and Eckes are 6-1, and then 1.5-1 for Kyle Busch. I mean, if you want to bet on Kyle Busch, he very well could just go. He's won here 5 times. I'm not going to say not bet it, but there's plenty of other places you can make your money rather than having to bet a bunch to make a lot of money on a Kyle Busch where he hasn't showed the most speed. So, Ty Majeski, 8.5-1. I already said what I said, 0.7 of units on there. Just light on the outrights, heavier on the top 5s because Kyle Busch is in the field and very well could go win the race. We went a little heavier on the head-to-heads. I think that's great. So let me just go wrap up the card real quick and just give you guys an overview, a brief overview of exactly what we took. So we took Taylor Gray over Nick Sanchez, a minus 115 on DraftKings. Grant Enfinger over Tyler Ankrum, minus 110 on Caesars. Majeski over Zane Smith, minus 120 on DraftKings. Matt Crafton, top 5, plus 800. Bet 365. Grant Enfinger, plus 200 for a top 5 on Bet 365. Majeski, top 5, plus 100. He's plus 130 on Bet 365. I took him on Caesars. And then outrights, Matt Crafton, 66-1. Taylor Gray, 28-1. Grant Enfinger, 12-1. And Majeski, 8.5-1. So that is the betting card for trucks, exclusive for the Friday morning betting show on the Hot Pass podcast. So that's been a lot of talking. Let's get into Cup. My mouth is getting dry. We're going to just bounce through this real quick because I'd like to only take Cup when you see practice and qualifying, but there's guys that are statistically really good here that qualify well here. And these are the bets that we're taking early on. Okay. Let's start in the top 10 market. I'm going to take Ty Gibbs. This is on Caesar Sportsbook. Ty Gibbs and Brad Keselowski both to finish in the top 10. Let me try and pull up Brad Keselowski's. Now, Ty Gibbs doesn't have a lot of history here or whatever. But he led a lot of laps in the fall at the night race. And he fell off, got a top 5 finish. He showed speed at the only short tracks that we had this year. LA Coliseum is its own thing, but he almost won that race. Phoenix, he led some laps and then, ended up getting the top 5 finish, which is unbelievable. Good for him. It would just seems like it's going to be the weekend, and I've said it on my other social medias at @furlongeric_, that it's a guy that hasn't won in a long time, or it's going to be, Ty Gibbs sort of guy that hasn't won before, and it's in a historic venue. We're back on concrete at Bristol in the spring for the first time in a couple of years, because they were running dirt, if you didn't know, on there. And it just feels like it's that time for some guys, right? Brad Keselowski has won here 3 times. And he's usually inside the top 10. With RFK in the last, in RFK, he's finished 13th and 8th. In 2022, his finish in 13th doesn't show where he was actually running. He was running at first a lot of the race, and then I think he ended up blowing a tire or something like that. Sad. And then I think Chris Buescher went and won the race, which is his teammate. We're going to talk about him. I think the RFK is going to be very good here. Ty Gibbs is going to be very good here. And this is Ty Gibbs last year as well. Ty Gibbs was just getting his feet wet, just getting into the Cup Series. And he finished top 5 in lead laps at Bristol. He hasn't won at Bristol in the Xfinity Series, but man, it just seems about right. It's God's son. We're in the South. We're in Tennessee. In the foothills of Tennessee, I just feel like something just seems right. I mean, it just feels a lot more right if you're at the Bristol night race. Ty Gibbs holding up the sword. That would be crazy. But, Bristol, no matter what, a win there is insane. But I think they're going to both finish inside the top 10. Brad K and Ty Gibbs, I've made my, we'll go into stats in them in a minute because I have them both outright. But we're staying in the top 10 market. Top 10, Chase Elliott plus 100. Stop right now. Thank you very much is what we say when you're giving us plus 100, even odds for Chase Elliott top 10. Let me go into his stats here at Bristol. Now I understand you're thinking, why are you taking this guy? He's got nothing going for him. He sucks. If it's my girlfriend, she goes, he actually kind of sucks. He's cute, but he actually kind of sucks. He admitted earlier on this week, I think it was to Bob Pockris or in an interview, saying that, he goes, it's not Alan Gustafson. It's just like, man, which is his crew chief. It's just, man, like I'm bad at driving this car right now. I'm just trying to still figure it out. And he qualified 3rd in Phoenix last week. Nobody saw that coming. And he was in the top 5, in the top 10. He's going to cash as probably a top 5, which I took last second at Phoenix. And then, back-to-back cautions late in the race, fucked all of Hendrick Motorsports and put him outside the top 10. I think that is this Chase's time. If not, I heard it on another podcast. If not, when? The Land Coin podcast said it. If not now, when? Because he performs well here, and then Coda, as they said in the Land Coin podcast, which is my boys, their podcast. Go listen to them. They said that he's good at road courses as well, and 1,000%. And he was supposed to be a road course ringer before this car. He better perform at one of these. So here he's finished since 2016, 4th, 15th, 7th. 2 bad finishes of 18th and 19th. But then 3rd, 11th, 5th, 22nd, 7th, 25th. Now it's calamity, right? But even in 2022, he finished 2nd behind Chris Buescher. And then even last year when they were saying, hey, Chase Elliott sucks. He's got nothing going on for him. He's dead to us. He's done. Ever since he broke his leg and then got suspended as well, he showed us nothing. He finished 7th. He started 7th, finished 7th. That's what we're looking for. Chase Elliott, top 10, plus 100. I ended up betting 1.5 units on that. I feel good about it. Now I said it in my Action Network. Go follow me. It's in the link in all my bios. That if he doesn't finish in the top 10, he's dead to us. At this point, I don't know what I'm not betting on him until he wins. Basically, I mean, I'm not betting on him at all. And you're gonna have to prove to me, something. So Chase Elliott, top 10, plus 100 just feels good. We're going to go to a head-to-head. Now, this is definitely not available anymore at the lines I got it. But earlier on in the week, Carson Hocevar, minus 120 over Josh Berry. You could take either side. But I missed it on Caesars when it opened up. and it juiced to like minus 180 over Josh Berry. Then later on that day, it got opened up, same line on BetMGM, minus 120. So I took a unit on that, and it feels nice. Now, Josh Berry's a short track guy. I've talked about SHR and then, him in that number 4 car, but I think Josh Berry's got some things to feel out. Carson Hocevar in the 42 in the Chevrolet, that literally had like no funding pretty much from Chevrolet because they were switching to Toyota. Carson Hocevar was filling in a seat for, at the time, Noah Gragson, that got kicked out of NASCAR at the time. I think he finished inside the top 10 or just outside of it, but he was driving inside the top 10 like all day. And now he's inspired. He showed us a lot of speed last week. Should have hit the top 10, but a bad pit. Carson Hocevar is going to be doing well here. And if I lose this, I lose it. But I think Carson's going to do well here. I don't have to really say anymore. Now let's go to the outrights. I don't have really anything else. I'm thinking about a Chase top 5, a Ty Gibbs top 5, but I'm just looking to find those odds because I think Chase and Ty Gibbs are going to be qualifying in the top 10. They're going to be qualifying out front. Their odds aren't going to be the same anymore. But I just want to tell you one thing on Caesar Sportsbook. I got it at plus 110. I didn't put it in my Action Network. Plus 110 for Chase Elliott to qualify higher than William Byron. In all the years that William Byron and Chase Elliott have been driving for Rick Hendrick at the same time, and they've been driving in Bristol at the same time, in the last 2 years, that's the only time William Byron has beat Chase Elliott, and it's not by much. The 1 year in, 2022, Chase had a bit of a slip-up and qualified 23rd, but last year he qualified 7th. I think Chase Elliott qualified 7th, and I think Byron qualified like 5th or 6th or something. So they're right there. And you're going to give me plus on. But every other year, I know it was in the previous car, but every other year Chase qualified better than William Byron. I know William Byron's on another level right now. But Chase beat William Byron last week out of nowhere. And now I got him at plus 110, but then now he's plus 140. I know it's saying Chase, fade Chase, but he's qualified. He qualified previous year 6th, 2nd, 4th, 16th, 2nd, 1st, 6, 6, 6, the devil, 4th, 23rd, and 7th. So he's usually inside the top 10 qualifying, and it's up to the higher spots. I'm taking that. I might even take plus 140. If I lose it, I lose it, and hopefully we make it back. But that just seems fucking ridiculous. It's recency bias on William Byron all day. And I know William Byron's looked good at qualifying everywhere else, but Chase knows how to lay a lap here. I'm going to take that as well. Let's finish up the podcast here with outrights. These odds aren't available for Briscoe and Gragson anymore, but it's SHR. Briscoe, I saw some lap times from last year. He was laying some of the fastest laps closer to the end of the race. Briscoe 80-1, Gragson 80-1. They were both on Bet Rivers. They've been both bet down to like 60, 65-1, even 50-1. I'm sorry guys, but that's why you got to follow me at @FurlongEric_ and follow my Action Network. It's in the link tree in my bios on X and Instagram, so you guys can take those immediately when those lines are available. They were 100-1. I got 80-1, and now they're down to like I wouldn't even bother taking them really. They're short tracks. We've talked about another previous podcast. SHR short tracks, good. They've showed some speed on short tracks always. And if it hits, we are having a day. So also I took Chase Elliott 18-1. He's now 20-1. I've talked about it. He's good here. And if any time, why not here? And 20-1, I wish I would have got it. Caesars, I got that on Caesars 18-1, but the majority of books have him 20-1. If he doesn't win here, we'll take him at Coda next week. And if he doesn't win, he's dead. So, and if he doesn't finish inside the top 10 this week for us, he's already dead. So Chase Elliott 20-1 on plenty of books. I got him 18-1. Ty Gibbs, we've made the argument for him 15-1. I know he's available 14-1 on BetMGM, but I got him 15-1 on BetMGM. He led a lot of laps here. He's showing a lot of consistency. He's gonna get a win, and I don't want to miss out on it. Toyota was very good at the short tracks last week. Ty Gibbs is gonna be fucking fast, man. I don't have to say anything else. RFK, when I get off of here, I'm taking Chris Buescher 15-1 on BetMGM. Chris Buescher 15-1 on BetMGM. He won here 2 years ago. RFK, he finished second last week. Okay, majority of the books have Chris Buescher either 10-1, 11-1, mainly sometime. I think I might have saw 9-1, which don't take that. Go to BetMGM, 15-1. That's a steal of a deal on a guy that won here 2 years ago and finished second last week. RFK is going to be good here. If you can find good odds on even Brad K for a top 10, if you could find something somewhere of a Brad K top 10, I would hammer the fucking shit out of that. Brad K and Chris Buescher, I got Brad K at 14-1. Take them both. It's an automatic bet here. It's like Brad K on a super speedway. Brad K at Bristol. Brad's won here 3 times in a Penske car. He's going to be good here. And I think he's going to fucking win, baby. I want it so bad. He's on a long winless streak. And then, yeah, man, that's it. That's it for the card so far until like practice. I don't want to like bet too heavy, but a lot of these guys have a lot of value, and I'm trying to find the value for you guys and myself before practice and qualifying. Everything happens on Saturday for practice and qualifying for Cup and Truck. So nothing tonight on Friday, and yeah, and then Truck's 8 p.m. and then I think I said 3 o'clock or 3 o'clock on Fox or TSN here in Canada on Sunday. So for the Trucks, they'll probably have it on Fox. If you illegally stream it, find it. Latifi Streams is usually what I use. Shouts out to that. But yeah, that's been the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed the rant. I hope you guys enjoyed the betting cards. Hopefully you guys followed it last week. Hopefully you follow it this week, and hopefully we cash. Okay. This is the Hot Pass Betting Show. Like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast, whether it's audio on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube for the video aspect to see what I'm wearing every week. You can see my theatrics in my hands and my face because I get crazy. You're going to want to see the rant and my facial expressions because I get fucking crazy with the hands and the face. So that's been the Hot Pass Podcast Betting Show, Friday morning betting show. Remember, Trucks, Xfinity exclusive every week on the Friday morning betting show. And then follow my Action Network to see all my cup bets early on, any early plays. And the link tree is always in the bio on Instagram and X. All right. Have a great week. I love you guys. And yeah, man, let's have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you guys on Monday. See ya.